Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and welcome to the science class. This is week 41 and I am Cikgu Roni. And before we continue with our lesson, we shall recite doa Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi zidni ilma warzuqni fahma wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa salam walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Okay, let's check the objective for this week would be identify the main parts of the breathing system and to describe the main function of the breathing system. And how do we do it is to talk about main parts of the breathing system and talk about the function. Okay, but before that we recap previous lesson, last week lesson, that is the transport system. And transport system consists of the heart, and the heart function as a group of muscle that pumps blood to all parts of our body. So another part of our breathing system would be the blood. No, not breathing system. Transport system is the blood. Blood contains food and oxygen that our body needs to function. And the third part of transport system would be blood vessels. Blood moves from the heart to all parts of our body through small tubes called blood vessels. Some blood are transported away from the heart, and other blood vessels transported blood back to the heart. And if you can see here, like I've explained last week, transport system consists of three parts: heart, blood vessels, and blood, and they function to transport food and oxygen, like I have explained. If you need more explanation, you can check last week's lesson. Okay, we shall continue with this week's lesson, that is not recap. This week lesson, the breathing system. Now, the breathing system, air is a mixture. It started with air. Air is a mixture of gases. It contains oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and water vapor. So this part are gases, not not here water vapor, not vapor. Water vapor, the spelling water vapor, VAPOUR, and VAPOR is the same, has the same meaning, but in British we're using British spelling, so we use it as VAPOUR, water vapor. So air contains of many types of gases, like here I can show you here. You don't need to learn this. You only need to learn oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and water vapor. So nitrogen consists the most in the air that around us. Around us, the most oxygen would be nitrogen, this part, paling banyak. And next would be oxygen, and then gases, other types of gases, and then carbon dioxide and water vapor, some water vapor. Okay, now remember, air is a mixture of gases which consists of oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and water vapor. The next part of breathing system is the function. Primary function of the breathing system is to supply our blood with oxygen. So it supply our blood with oxygen. Blood is part of the transport system, and breathing system helps to supply the oxygen into our blood. If you can see here, breathing system, parts of the breathing system would be our nose, mouth, windpipe, and lungs. Nose, mouth, windpipe, and lungs. Now, windpipe is different. Now, when you eat, there are two types of pipe. pipe. There are two types. One pipe for your food and the other part for your air. Now it's not the same. For your food is different pipe. For your air is different pipe. So for your air, you have windpipe, and windpipe goes straight to the lungs like in this picture. So how do you breathe? Let's take a look. In the lungs, the oxygen is passed to our blood vessel and transported to all parts of our body. So we breathe in, like in the picture, we breathe in air, and air will go into your lungs, paru-paru, and the oxygen will pass through the blood vessel that you have learned last week. So yapasana, oxygen will pass through your lungs to the blood. And then what happen is our body uses the oxygen to produce energy from food. So when we breathe in, oxygen masuk will go inside your lungs, and lungs will pass through the blood vessel, and the blood will carry all the oxygen and food to all parts of your body, and our body will use that oxygen to produce energy from food. Food plus oxygen uh, will become the energy that we need. And what happens is when the energy is produced, another gas, carbon dioxide, is also produced. Oxygen plus food give energy, and what happens is carbon dioxide is produced. And then this unwanted gas is passed to the blood and move back to our lungs. Okay, now this carbon dioxide is unwanted. We only need oxygen and we don't want carbon dioxide. Our body don't want carbon dioxide, and it will move back to the lungs. Jadi what happened is, again, oxygen will go in from our nose to our lungs and then pass through the blood. Blood will go all around your body with the oxygen, and then the oxygen and food is used, and they will produce carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide will go back to your heart and will pass through from your lungs. Jadi ya pump. So transport system and breathing system, it works together. If you can see here in this picture, so it move down the oxygen, move to your lungs, and then carbon dioxide will go back out. Now, carbon dioxide and water vapor are removed from our body when we breathe out. We breathe in oxygen, we breathe out carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide. Now, there's an experiment that you don't need to know, but it's more or less like this. It's just an extra knowledge. When we breathe in nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and water vapor sometimes. But what happens is when we breathe out, the nitrogen is the same, but the oxygen is lesser because we are using the oxygen, and the carbon dioxide increase. The number of carbon dioxide increase. When we breathe in, sikit 0.04, and oxygen a lot 21. But then what happened is when we breathe out, the oxygen become lesser and the carbon dioxide increases, jadi 4 become 4. And water vapor, it depends on the air around us. Okay, thank you for watching. Let's check about this worksheet. Worksheets are provided through Google Form and also lesson notes. Now let's recap today's lesson. Number 1, air contains oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and water vapor. Number 2, the main function of breathing system is to supply our blood with oxygen. And number three, parts of a breathing system: nose, mouth, windpipe, and lungs. Okay, thank you for watching my video. Um, like, subscribe, and share this video to your family and friends. We shall see again next week with other topics. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and see you next week.